If I make a mistake, under or overstate something while reviewing a product, I feel it's vital that I go back and make any necessary corrections. So is the case here. It occurred to me that in part 1, when I was reviewing the pitch and roll graphic and the G-force graphic, that I hadn't actually used them before, and that it probably would have been a good idea if I had sampled and test drove those items before talking about them. And as it turned out, they didn't quite work the way I wanted them to. When I performed the hard braking test, you'll see that the G-force square in the lower left-hand corner hardly moved at all. It just sort of shook around. Acceleration wasn't much better. It didn't pull back, it didn't pull forward, but there was a slight inclination up and down for the airplane icon in the upper left-hand corner as the nose of the car dipped on braking and the back of the car squatted upon acceleration. Now I want you to look at this left-hand turn. The airplane icon turns to the right on a left turn, which makes absolutely no sense. Now, look at this next turn to the right. If it turned to the right on a left turn, then maybe it should turn to the left on a right turn? No, it still turned to the right. Which begs the question, why did it turn to the right on a left turn? And again, let's look at this right-hand turn. Our airplane is turning to the right. Our G-force square is not even leaving the center or the first ring. Will the airplane turn to the left on this turn? Yes, finally, it turns to the left. But why didn't it do it on the first left turn at the railroad tracks? And it looks like it's going to turn to the right. No, it almost turned to the left on that one. So it makes absolutely no sense. And here we go, another turn to the right, a sharp turn to the right, and a nice sharp turn on the part of the airplane. But again, the G-force meter only went out one circle from the center, if even that. Again, not very dependable, not very reliable. I would say there's little to no turn, but I notice, if anything, the plane turns slightly to the left on a right turn. Again, not making much sense. Fairly hard right-hand turn coming up. Let's have a look. What direction does the airplane turn? It should turn to the right. And that turns to the right by quite a bit. Now let's look at this left-hand turn. It should turn to the left ever so slightly, but not as much as I would have expected. I'm setting up for yet another left-hand turn. The airplane should turn to the left. Okay, it settles. I accelerate. And as I finish the turn, it's turning to the right. Why? I don't get it. Okay, setting up for another right turn. And it turns to the left. I just about give up. And another left as I was going to say rush the green arrow, but I caught up too quickly to the car in front of me. Turn left, turn left. Hey, it turned left before it turned right as I try to complete the turn. Another left-hand turn, getting closer to my neighborhood. G-force square just bouncing around on bumps. Well, again, started left and then finished up to the right. And slight turn to the left before turning to the right. Here's a right-hand turn. And that's real. That's legit. That's a legit right-hand turn. And that's about all I can say. And right turn into the driveway. Yeah, that worked. And that's about it. So in conclusion, I'm going to say that my correction is that I've tried the gauges, which I hadn't done before. And my concluding remarks are that they have the potential of working if they were a little bit more sensitive. The attitude indicators seems to sometimes jump in the wrong direction or tilt in the wrong direction, and the G-force indicator isn't sensitive enough. And that's my my observations. So this is a night video shot later that same day, and my point on this video is to tell you that everything I said about having to use your data and it having to hit cell towers apparently is wrong, because I turned off LTE, I turned off Wi-Fi, I even put it in airplane mode. Theoretically, the speed should have canceled out and displayed a dash or a 0. All the compasses should have come disabled. The latitude and longitude should have come disabled, and yet they still display. I could have sworn that the last time I disabled the phone's connectivity, that the app stopped working. So one of two things happened. I either had it wrong all along, or Christian Neubauer in his update had fixed it so that it's totally off the phone's internal brain and does not require any hookup whatsoever. So if you want to use this app in airplane mode, off the grid, so you're not using up your data, have at it. This is living proof that it works. The compass in the upper left-hand corner, the course compass, is displaying correctly. Ignore the compass down below. The date and time's accurate. The latitude, longitude is accurate. The speed's accurate. The altimeter's accurate. And its ability to count off miles and tenths of miles is accurate. Everything works fine. So disregard what I said in the intro of my last video. And that will wrap up part 2, corrections I needed to make regarding video part 1. B3 Burner out.